Our next speaker needs absolutely no introduction, but I would like to say just a few things. He is the CEO of Telenor Pakistan and President of the Overseas Investment Chamber of Commerce. Irfan Wahab Khan will be talking about the digital consumer. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Irfan Wahab Khan.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good morning to everyone. After listening to a very insightful presentation from Magnus, which is talking about the mega trends, I will actually zoom in into another exciting thing which is embracing us for the last decade or so. It's as exciting as perhaps the people 100 years ago when they were excited about the electricity, because we call this the fourth industrial revolution. And that revolution is also bringing opportunities just like previous industrial revolutions. I'll argue that this single device, which we're all carrying today, has changed our lives. And that all happened in last 10, 11 years when the first smartphone was born back in 2007. And as you heard, this device has now more processing power than men's mission to moon. Imagine the possibilities. Today, digital services and products are transforming businesses, progressing prosperity, and changing lives all around the world. And Pakistan is no different. So I'll talk about the foundation, which is the connectivity and how it's happening. And then I'll zoom in into Pakistan and look into some of the bigger trends which a digital consumer of today is facing. And what does it mean for us as businesses, as corporate leaders, and as consumers of goods and services. So if you look at the global digital stage, we see that out of 7.6 billion people, we have 5 billion people who are connected through mobile. And Pakistan is no exception. We have over 150 million connections in this market, where our population is 220 million. So fairly good reach. When it comes to smartphones, which is sort of gateway to the connected world and a digital world, globally, there are 4 billion smartphone or internet phone users, and Pakistan is rapidly catching up with 50 million. And that all has changed in past 3-4 years. We were seriously lagging in those numbers, and we are in a catch-up phase through, huge investments which are going into 3G and 4G networks. And this is like building the railroads of today. And I also, related like this, that traditionally, companies like ourselves, the traditional telcos, who were delivering voice for so many years to our consumers, bringing people together, connecting them together. Through voice for many years, and last few years has been a journey of delivering megabytes. But going forward, and today onwards, it's a transition from minutes to megabytes to moments. Moments which consumers and our customers can enjoy and cherish. And those moments are very different for everyone. For some of us, it could be, listening to our latest song just released on Spotify while driving to work. For others, it's just to pay our bills from comfort of our home. And we all remember the days when we have to send someone to pay bills and the person is not back till sun sets, because there used to be long queues outside the bank. This whole thing is actually changing and bringing a lot of convenience. And then the other trend which we see is social. Social media, which is just taking over. In fact, in our market, internet is synonymous to social media, Facebook and WhatsApp, because these are the biggest use cases today. So what does it mean? In terms of bigger trends, we see the world is moving towards SOLO-MO, where SO stands for the social. When everyone is connected, is on all the time through services like WhatsApp, Facebook. And that is giving us huge opportunities. People love to be broadcasted. People love to share what they think, feel, and enjoy their moments. The second big thrust is being local, being relevant. Because, yes, I may be using Facebook, but I'm not really interested in a great concert which is happening in New York tonight. I would like to know what's happening in Karachi. I need to know what is happening around me. And that brings the value of being local. And then, third is mobile. And in Pakistan, as I've shown, I mean, people who are connected, people who are consuming products and services, people who are buying online through e-commerce platforms, over 90% of those actually interactions are happening on mobile, because we hardly have any fixed infrastructure. So that mobile piece becomes even more important for a country like Pakistan. And that is actually shifting how we as businesses need to sort of position ourselves, needs to interact with our consumers, and needs to grasp the opportunities which are out there. Some of the other things which are happening in the digital frontier, and Magnus talked about some of those. Because yes, we may be connected, and we may be proud that there are 5 billion people around the world who are connected today. But in a few years' time, that number will be 50 billion. You must be wondering, there are not 50 billion people. But through Internet of Things, which is not Internet of People, everything is being connected as we speak. There are sensors, there are devices, there are appliances which are talking to each other, sharing information. And so it's not just about, the developed world. It's happening here in Karachi, where, many of you, your businesses, even homes, have smart meters provided by K Electric, for example, which are just providing information back to the distribution company in terms of the consumption. This connectivity also means that in a place like Karachi, when traffic is a huge issue, especially when it rains, imagine a situation when you need to set up your regular alarm. How many of you put alarm on your mobile phone every day? Yeah, about half of us. Yeah. But if you can have that smart feature when your mobile can actually also look at the weather and the traffic out there. If it takes you 30 minutes to your work, it can actually predict that today is a different day, there's a heavy traffic because of rain, you need to wake up maybe 20 minutes earlier. And that automatically adjusts the alarm clock. That's the value of technology in everyday life. And that's exactly what is happening around us. So, Internet of Things is everything talking to everything. Only in 3-4 years, you will see 50 billion of those connections around us, generating tremendous information, amount of data, which can be used for the benefit of consumers, benefit of businesses, which can improve our lives one way or the other. And then we have also seen another trend, which is voice-assisted, technologies like Siri, like Amazon's devices, which just bring in a lot more convenience. I'll give you a practical example. I mean, I'm a bit of techie, I would say. So we had a big challenge in winters. We have this, a pressure pump, which is on the rooftop. And when we need to wake up, obviously, whenever someone is using water in the house, it creates some noise, which is not very pleasant noise. So it disturbs the sleep. And typically, it's our sort of staff at house wake up earlier than us. It was really annoying. And I was just talking to my wife that how can we fix it? The simple solution we found out is to buy an Alexa device, which is just connected to that pump. And you can actually tell the device, just by talking to the device, please turn on the pressure pump when you need to. And that's how we get rid of the noise, which was really annoying. Another small, simple example, but that's how you can use technology. And then self-driving cars is not something which is in distinct future. It's already happening in West, also in Asia. The artificial intelligence, the VR, virtual reality, smart cities been implemented in Pakistan as well. There's tremendous amount of data, tremendous value which is generated through those initiatives. Other trend which we see is that, when it comes to the, there is no single screen which gets our attention. Even TV, which used to be the screen in any home, is now shared. So people are saying that 77% of the time, they are using other devices with TV. And that's exactly what we see in our homes as well. Our kids, even ourselves, we are on tablets, we are on devices, just at the same time. So attention span has really limited because of the excess of information around us. What does it do to the, if I'm a business and I'm also looking at my spend, one thing which has already happened is digital has overtaken traditional medium in the West 2 years ago. So there are more money being spent on digital and social platforms than traditional TV around the world. And in Pakistan, we also see a shift happening. A couple of years ago, as telecom industry, we were spending only 5% on digital. Bulk of our spend was going on TV, out of home. Today, or last year, we crossed 25%. 25% total spend in this market is going on digital. But I can predict, I'm not a futurist, but I can predict that in few years' time, this will overtake TV or traditional medium here as well. Because it's a lot more efficient. Because you can actually measure the performance of every rupee you spend, and you can see whether it's that particular rupee is working for you or not. You can also change campaigns or your message on the fly. You can adjust it and make that rupee go even longer. So around all those trends, technology, connectivity, internet, social, how is the consumer of future is changing? Because gone are the days when brands or businesses can dictate what messages we need to send to our customers. Today is the day and age of brand hacking. Today, it's our customers who form opinions about a particular brand, particular service, and that is considered a lot more reliable. Just imagine, if you have to travel today and you have to book a hotel, typically you will not go to a site of Marriott or Sheraton to see what Marriott or Sheraton in London or Singapore is saying about themselves. You'll go to the travel site, or you go to the review sections and see what other travelers are saying about the location, the service. So it's a different mindset. Gone are the days when we used to dictate that our customer services center is only open 9 to 5. Now, customers demand that we get service 24/7. Customer demand and engagement, which is very different. Even the sales cycles, sales funnels have changed. Used to be very, a funnel approach when you interact, make a pitch, client or customer will consider, and then you will complete the cycle. Now it's a lot more engagement. Now it's a lot more collaborative. Now it's all more experimental. So these are some of the bigger trends which we see defining future of customers as well. And that's not just happening in a particular segment, that's happening all around across various markets, across various industries and sectors. Data is the new champion. What we're doing when 5 billion people are connected or 50 million people are connected here, we are creating unparalleled digital footprints. Even in this room, some of you are tweeting, some of you are on Facebook, Some of you are just sending messages on WhatsApp about this particular event. What does it do? It just creates a lot of data, a lot of information out there. And it's not just social, it's all the other interactions we do, how we engage, how we transact, and that's why data becomes sort of the oil of future. And it becomes extremely valuable for any business to transform itself. What you can do is, you can have a surgical dialogue with your customers based on that data. You can put a context to that data, and context is extremely important. You can have a personal service. You can have more one-to-one messages which are relevant to that customer or that person rather than just spray and pray. And then, you can really fail fast and grow based on those insights. Because everything is not based on certain hypothesis or hunch or that's how I feel or my gut is saying that, but it's all data-driven. The future of businesses is data-driven, all decisions. And it's quite interesting because one of the gurus, John Chambers, who was long-time CEO of Cisco, but then chairman, he said once in similar setting that 7 out of 10 businesses will cease to exist in next 10 years' time. Imagine 7 out of 10 of us will not exist in this shape and form as we do because of transformation which is happening. We have heard example of Nokia. It used to be the leading brand in cell phone. We have seen many other examples from all industries, not just technology. Kodak, Pan Am as an airline used to be the best airline. But companies and businesses not able to transform themselves, they just vanish. But then John Chambers kept on saying, businesses who will try to transform, even 30% of them will be successful. So it's not given that we all will be successful even after we try. So it's extremely important for us to look at those trends and also accept how world around us is changing, how our consumers are changing, how our consumer behaviors are changing. And even as leaders, how we manage our businesses, how we prepare our strategic plans. Are we following the market or are we driving the market? Are we exploring the new avenues or are we just following and trying to do things which we good at from yesterday? Because what brought us here will not take us forward into this future. So being more surgical is the key. Personalized experimental marketing in a relevant context is extremely important. I gave an example of how we are using data and doing some personalization. How many of you are getting spammed with SMSs today? Yeah, most of us. Those SMSs has no value or hardly any value because when you look at the conversion rate, only 2% of customers even look at it or even less take any action on those. But imagine if you are a brand in a fashion industry, in a Dolman Mall in Karachi, and you want to reach out to a particular segment, you can actually define a certain campaign where you say, okay, socioeconomic segment A, females 30 to 40 years, in this mall now will only get the promotion. And that's happening today. We are working with our clients to make that possible. That becomes a lot more relevant, a lot more targeted, and the customer experience, the customer journey is much, much better. It's a day, an age of Trump. Technology, data plays an important role. If you study how campaign Trump has used data and make it more personal, psychometric data, and just by tweaking some messages, tweaking the headlines, tweaking videos and pictures, you reach out to those potential, the constituency was a lot more effective. How you drive those insights is quite amazing. So it's three things. I mean, one is the behavior, which we all know, or psychometric part of it. What are the trends? How this customer like? Demographic, age, income, etc. Combined with the context is that killer application which will transform the world of consumerism. So it will not be just marketing, it will be MarTech, marketing along with technology, which will bring this change. Artificial intelligence, quickly, is another big trend which we see, especially chatbots, as we see the rise of social media platforms. Now many businesses, even in Pakistan today, have deployed chatbot for their customer services, including our own business. It brings the cost down, gives you that super efficiency. So just an example, our customers, we used to receive 120,000 calls to our call center every day last year. Today, it's less than 50,000. We have done only two things. First, we have empowered customers through self-care tools. Secondly, we deployed chatbots through AI. You can exactly tell why this customer is calling, what has been his or her behavior or pattern before, what sort of issues, what sort of preferences, what sort of packages, and you can address it. And what does it mean for us as business? Customers are more happy, but our cost has gone down because we don't have to handle that 120 million or 120,000 calls every day. So discovery, if you look at the whole customer journey, 55% of customers are saying that they are discovering the products, the brands online, especially on the social, and they bought product online based on what they see online. And that's a trend which is obviously changing. So we see a huge opportunity in terms of e-commerce, for example, in this market, where offline-online play will become extremely important for us as well, for any businesses. And many businesses may not be online today, but then you think about it, because a clear shift which you're seeing is that even traditional online players have recognized the value of being present offline. So that's why Amazon is building more and more point of presence, stores, collection centers. And that's why even Alibaba in China is doing so. What we are doing here is that we're bringing in partner like Alibaba in this market on the payment side. EasyPass, as you know, has been a huge success, but our vision is to build a cashless society because we can do it here. In Europe, perhaps train has left the station. There are already people who are banked, people who have plastic and credit cards. There are other solutions, but here, 85% of people are still unbanked. That's the opportunity. That's what makes us excited. And that's why a lot of people have raised their hands when, Magnus, you asked the question about the future, because we believe the future is really bright in this part of the world. So I'll just skip because I'm out of time. Just last slide on digital transformation and why it is essential. Because this is not just about anyone who's related to technology. Digital transformation is as important for governments, for example. If you have to build citizen services which are efficient, which brings convenience to the consumers, you have to think going digital. If you are thinking of transforming your education, you cannot do it through brick and mortar model. You have to leverage the smartphones, the tablets which are already there. Why a kid in a rural Sindh, in Thatta, does not have access to same content as our kids in Karachi or Lahore or Islamabad? Only possible through technology. Agriculture is another area which is 20% of GDP. We are transforming agriculture through technology. Within last year and a half, we have over 6 million farmers on our agri platform, leveraging digital to increase their productivity through access to information, access to marketplace. And independent studies show their income level has gone up by 15%. 6 million families with 15% more income to spend on health, welfare of their kids. That's the true transformation which we need to embark as a country, as a society. Also, examples like how can we empower and grow businesses? How can we transform government by leveraging technology? If a container arrives at Karachi port, why we have to go physically with all the documents to get it released? Why can't it be done through portals? It's happening around the world, dozens of countries. Why can't it happen here? And I think that's the opportunity. And that is the opportunity which will actually take Pakistan forward. We are quite blessed, quite lucky with the demographics. We have 100 million young people who are digital natives, who understands technology, who can adapt technology. All it needs is a vision, a leadership, which will channelize those energies in the right direction so that Pakistan could also leapfrog in the League of Nations, because through digitization, we can conquer skies. Thank you very much.